The leaves were drooping again. Not dry, not crispy, just tired. The color looked dull. Growth had slowed down. For weeks, I kept watering the same way I always had. The soil stayed moist. The pot drained well. And yet, nothing changed. Then I made one small adjustment. I did not repot. I did not buy a new fertilizer. I simply switched what I used instead of plain water. Within 14 days, the leaves looked firmer. The green deepened. New growth began to show at the tips. This was not the first time I had seen this pattern. Over many seasons, I have noticed that some plants look watered, but not nourished. If your plant feels slow, that does not mean you are doing anything wrong. It may simply need something slightly different. Before explaining why this worked, it helps to understand what may be happening under the soil. Water keeps a plant alive. It moves through the roots and up the stems. It helps the leaves stay open and firm. But water by itself does not provide food. Plants feed on nutrients that live in the soil. In garden beds, the earth is deep. Worms move through it. Leaves break down. Rain washes minerals slowly through the ground. Over time, nature replaces what the plant uses. In pots, things are different. The soil is limited. Each time we water, a small amount of nutrients washes out through the drainage holes. After months, sometimes years, that potting mix becomes lighter. It still holds moisture, but it does not hold as much food. Many experienced growers notice this after a few seasons. The plant does not look sick. It simply stops thriving. It survives, but it does not shine. This is especially common with older houseplants that have not been repotted in some time. The roots fill the space. The soil becomes tired. Water keeps the plant steady, but it does not restore what has been used. That understanding led me to try something gentle, not strong, not complicated. Instead of watering with plain tap water, I began using diluted rice water. The same cloudy water left after rinsing uncooked rice. I made sure it was unsalted. I diluted it with extra water so it stayed mild. Then I used it in place of one regular watering every week or two. Rice water contains small amounts of starch and trace minerals. Nothing heavy, nothing harsh. I chose it because it felt natural and soft. I avoided letting it sit too long. Fresh is better. If it smells sour, it should not be used. I did not pour it daily. I did not soak the soil. I treated it as a light feeding, not a flood. The rest of the time, I continued normal watering. I was not expecting a dramatic change. I was simply observing. In the first 7 days, the shift was small, but it was clear. The leaves began to feel slightly firmer when touched. The color grew a little deeper. The newest leaves stopped looking pale. Compared to the weeks before, when growth had almost paused, this felt meaningful. It was not overnight. It was not explosive. It was steady. At the base of the plant, tiny new shoots began forming, not large, just enough to notice. For beginners, this is important. Progress often looks quiet at first, a brighter leaf, a stronger stem. Small signs matter. Sometimes we expect a big transformation, but plants move in gentle steps. When you see even a slight improvement, that tells you the roots are responding. This brings us to something many gardeners overlook. Plants often respond better to mild nutrients given regularly than to strong fertilizer given rarely. The goal is not intensity. The goal is balance. When we use heavy fertilizer, we may see a burst of growth, but strong feeding can stress roots, especially in older plants. It can build up salts in the soil. Leaves may even burn at the tips. Gentle feeding works differently. It supports the tiny living systems in the soil. It encourages steady growth instead of forcing it. Think of it as a light meal instead of a large feast. Over time, The plant stays stronger, the leaves remain even in color. The stems grow at a natural pace. This shift changes how we think. Instead of asking how to push growth faster, we ask how to support growth more consistently. Less force, more timing. There is one mistake to watch for when trying this approach. It is easy to believe that if a little works, more will work better. But too much rice water, even though it is natural, can create problems. If poured too often, the soil can become heavy. It may develop an odor, mold can form on the surface. Roots need air as much as they need moisture. Overloading the soil can stress them. Dilution matters. Spacing matters. Once every week or two is enough for most houseplants during active growth. In cooler months, even less is fine. If the solution smells sour or fermented, it is safer to discard it. Fresh and mild is best. There is no need to strain yourself with daily routines. Observation is more important than schedule. Climate also plays a role. In warm regions where plants grow longer through the year, they may respond more quickly. The roots stay active. Leaves continue forming. In these areas, a gentle feeding during spring and summer can support steady growth. In colder regions, growth slows when daylight shortens. Plants rest. During winter, especially indoors, they absorb nutrients more slowly. In this season, lighter use or even pausing is reasonable. Indoor plants near heaters may dry faster, but that does not mean they need more feeding. They need careful watering and light. Seniors growing indoors during winter can focus on simple observation. If growth is slow, that is normal. This method works best for leafy plants, herbs, and many common houseplants. Spider plants, pothos, peace lilies, and herbs often respond well to mild feeding. Leafy greens in containers outdoors can also benefit during their active season. However, some plants prefer very lean soil. Certain succulents and cacti do not need extra feeding often. For them, plain water may be enough most of the year. As with any method, watch the plant. If leaves remain firm and color stays rich, continue gently. If the soil becomes compact or smells unpleasant, reduce the frequency. There is no need for heavy lifting or constant bending. You can prepare diluted rice water at the sink and water slowly. Let gravity do the work. Let drainage happen naturally. If you try this, notice what changes in your own garden. Are your leaves pale? Has growth slowed after months in the same pot? Sometimes small adjustments bring quiet improvements. If you feel comfortable sharing, you might leave a comment about what plant you're observing and what changes you see over a few weeks. Hearing others' experiences can help all of us learn calmly together. In the end, this experience reminded me of something simple. Plants rarely need dramatic action. They need steady care, gentle attention, small corrections. You do not have to work harder. You do not have to buy complicated products. Often the soil just needs a mild refresh. A soft reminder of nutrients. When we slow down and observe, we notice patterns. Weeks of stagnation can shift into gradual progress with one thoughtful change. If your plant looks tired, pause before assuming you failed. The roots may simply need light support. And once they receive it, growth often returns in its own time. Gardening is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters. A little gentleness, a little patience, do less, get more.